plant lovers, garden lovers, finally going to do an update on the garden I put in this season. It's not winter yet, it's the end of fall. Just want to do a quick video, nothing fancy. Want to show kind of what made it, what didn't make it, what died off in the Texas heat. So if you watched my earlier videos, you know I put this garden in, all these gardens and plants in this season at the beginning of the spring, middle spring, and hadn't done an update since then. Keep in mind it is the first year, so sometimes you need a couple years before your garden's going to get to where you actually want it to be. So first year, let's go ahead and take a look. We'll start over here where I had quite a few things die off. Apparently I'm not good with ferns. I told you on some of my other videos, I'm not one to baby plants. I want plants that strive and thrive through all different types of conditions: drought, heat, freezing, all that good stuff. So all the plants I ordered from Fancy Franz have died off. I think I had some, I'm not sure of all the names of them. I might put them up in the video, but I might not. Go back to that video, you could see it's a Fancy Franz video. You'll see the ferns I put in. I think some were tongue ferns, something like that. I had some ferns in here. I had some other little ferns around in here. They all ended up dying off or looking bad enough for me to pull them up, take them out, and replace them. I had a big fern here. It was supposed to be drought tolerant. I watered everything pretty good for the first couple weeks, maybe even three weeks, and then I just kind of let them do their thing. Got kind of hot this summer, and they ended up dying off. So I'm not sure what these are. Little ground cover plants that hopefully will end up spreading and taking over in here. They're doing pretty good. Flowering maple, got some flowers on it. As you can see, it's grown quite a bit. It's doing pretty good there. I took a cutting off of that, rooted it, and put it in the ground here, so hopefully that survives, and we'll see next spring what it does. We got the Avarillos that I put here doing pretty good. The ones I put out front aren't doing so hot. Got the hosta I put in here. A lot of the bigger leaves died off, and then this sprouted back up. Funny thing, the ferns that I got from Lowe's in the home plant, indoor plant section are the only ones that actually survived. Not sure what those are. That was probably one of them too that didn't survive. That one looks like it's struggling. So I put a bunch of ferns in this rock crevice area that I built. They didn't do so hot, so I went ahead and I redid it. Here's what I'm going with now. Got some, what is that? Some kind of ivy. Needlepoint ivy. Put in some of the Katie, I call it Rulia. Katie Rulia is what I call them. I think those look pretty good in this rock section. My wife doesn't really like those, but I've had them before. And I know they do good in my area. I had them in my front lawn for years when we first moved into this house. So I want to start putting in what I know is going to work. Right, I think this is snake herb, if I remember correctly. Texas native. It's called snake herb, something like that. If I'm wrong, I might put it on the screen. I went ahead and threw some, I believe it's dichondra or dichondra. A lot of times it's seen in the hanging baskets. But we'll see what this does. I don't know if it's going to die off this winter, if it's going to come back next spring. We're going to see about that. The gold dust Tacuba, it's growing a little bit. It's looking a little dusty because I had these misters on, and we have hard water around here. So I put a bunch of misters around here and that didn't help the ferns survive. So I ended up turning those off, and I kind of rerouted it. Think about doing a mister section around the seating area here. One thing real quick, these trees, these crepe myrtles, man, they get messy, guys. Their flowers, their little flower casings, their leaves, they're throwing stuff everywhere constantly. Middle of the season, they had millions of flowers over them. They were throwing flowers down. It looked like it was snowing out here. Come out here every day, and there was just white flowers covering every little square inch of everything. At first it was annoying, then I kind of got over it. Their leaves are coming down, but the leaves have been over everything. I've been gathering them up and putting them around some of the plants for kind of a mulch, protect them in the winter and in the summer. So we got our oak leaf hydrangea. Looks like the leaves are kind of starting to fall off. Hopefully that'll make it. It's grown, it's taller. We'll see what happens next spring. But yeah, I just kind of want to document all this, so come spring, kind of see what we got. I don't know if we remember here, I had a couple of these Lemandra breeze plants, and I cut them into 2s and 3s, and I popped in a couple here and there. Most of those died off, or were doing bad enough for me to pull them out. So those got replaced. This Vitex, also a chase tree. I found this tree at in New Braunfels when I was visiting a buddy of mine, and I pulled it up out of the ground. There was a lot of them out there all around in that area, so I'm guessing they grow native. Either that or they're invasive. But yeah, I planted this one. It was about this tall in the spring, very small, and you can see it's about 6 foot tall now, that piece. So it's growing pretty good. Got a skull cap, pink skull cap. Like I said, I recently kind of redid these spots and put in some more native stuff, kind of what I want to focus on right now. I have some of that pink skull cap in the front yard as well. You see here, it was 38 degrees this morning, guys, so I have a little undershirt on. Some more of that snake herb. This is a Cuban gold something bush. I think it starts with a D. Maybe I'll put it on the screen, maybe I won't. It's a smaller version of that. It can't handle under 20 degrees, so I'm gonna end up having to cover this bush when it drops down really low, and we'll see. It's been finicky for water since I planted it so far. I planted it maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, and the leaves were really droopy, and I wasn't sure if I had overwatered it or underwatered it, but I only had watered it when I first planted it, so I gave it like a day or two, and it ended up raining and the leaves popped back. So I was like, okay, must have been underwatered. I haven't watered it since then. I'm kind of letting it do its thing. I don't want to overwater anything, so we'll see how that one works out here. It's supposed to be a long-lived bush, like 40 years, but like I say, the weather, the temperature might affect it. If it pulls through this winter, I'm probably going to put one over there. We got fall aster right here. We have mist flower. Both of these are native. There's some flowers open for you. We'll get a close-up for that one in a second. We've got what is it? I want to say Exminia. Let me think about that for a second. Real quick, this is also a Lemandra. This is the Lime Tight. As we can see, there's a little brown in these. They're doing okay. They're not doing the best, so we're gonna leave them here and see how it goes. Like I said, I did hold off on the water for a few weeks during the summer, and I don't baby my plants, so Either it makes it or it doesn't. I want to show this real quick. This just randomly started growing here. Not sure exactly what it is, but it's a cool little plant. So I left it here. It started growing like a weed. It's obviously natural in my area. One thing that's really cool is these flowers. I mean, it's had quite a bit of flowers, as you can see all the budding going up them. And you see that flower right there? I don't know if we can see that. But yeah, that's a cool plant, and it's a weed that started naturally growing here. I just let go. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if it's an annual or if it's a perennial and it's going to come back next year. We're going to find out. Alright, we got a Texas rock rose right here. Has a lot of buds on it. If we could see them, all of them. So it should start blooming here shortly. Again, it has been blooming ever since I planted it, which was probably 3 weeks ago again. You said I just redid this whole kind of area. Close up on the mist flower down there. And that's the shorter mist flower. I didn't get the tall ones even though they had both. Alright, so this is a Zexminia. That's what it is. Doing pretty good here. Since I planted it, I haven't done much to it. Leaves are still looking nice. Doesn't look droopy or sad in any way. Had one of these here. One of those died off. Those aren't doing so hot in the garden. Not sure why. I planted 4 of them. 2 of them I pulled up, and I'm leaving the other 2. We'll see what happens. That might get pulled out next season and replaced. Big Lamondre Breeze. I think we got a, what is that? That's a Mexican something. These are the Avarillos I pulled out of the front yard. Now you can see they're doing fantastic. Just kidding. They weren't doing so hot. I had them in the wrong spot. They were getting too much sun. And it was too hot for them, too much sun. Midsummer they should get a lot of shade over here. We'll see if they bounce back. I replaced them with Big Blue Liriope out front because I have a lot of that around. What do we have? Fatsia Japonica right here. Story about those. I did do one back here as well. I got from a totally different garden center. That one never did good. I think I had another video on it. It always was wilting and looked like it needed to be watered. Ever since I first put it in, every other day it wanted water. This one has never wilted, not one time. It's doing great, never acted stressed. The other one, the leaf started dying finally midsummer to the end of the summer. It was shooting out new leaves at the top of it, but I don't care. I ripped it out. I'm not going to water a plant every single day or deal with a finicky plant, so I'll have to replace that with probably another Turk's cap. So this is right here, Turk's cap. Let's see. There's some flowering going on. Some buds happening. You can see that was planted not that long ago, a few weeks ago. This is where foxtail fern, I pulled that out of. I got a few for the other side of the lawn, and then I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I just pop one in here. I was trying to debate what I wanted to put here in place of, I can't remember the name of that right now, Nile lily maybe, or something like that. Okay, here I think we got maybe Mexican sage, something like that. That plant wasn't doing very hot where I had it. Actually, I think I kept that in its pot. I couldn't find a spot for it, so I put it here about a month ago, maybe a little more. Started watering it, and I like that spot for it. Kind of come up and do its own thing, be a little tall point there. This is one of my favorite plants in the garden right now. What is this? This is some kind of catmint, but it was labeled as calamint, and I like how it sprawls. You can see how it's climbing up that rock right there and kind of just going everywhere, climbing onto this rock, coming around this rock right here. going in between and back behind these. That's my favorite plant so far. That's due to change. If you ask me next month, it might be something different. If you ask me next year, it'd probably definitely be something different. But I like that. When I bought that, I thought it was going to be just a round bush, but it sprawls out and kind of creeps along low like that. Very cool. Got the dwarf cast iron plants. Some more of this. That's the low growing stuff, like I said. Stay short. I don't know if anyone watched my last videos. I had some salvia here. I think Evolution. This might be one too coming. I planted them all in here. I ended up not liking them, so I pulled or cut them out. That one survived and grew back. So this is another Calumet. I left this sitting over in the pot over by my extra plants that I didn't know what to do with at that point in time. It got really bad. Finally I decided where to put it. I put it there about a month ago, and it's starting to do its thing. After I saw how awesome this one was, I was like, dang, I'm gonna plant that other one. And I really wish I would have got that on the ground and it would look like that. Alright, recently I had to replace some plants in here. I have no idea what they were. Some kind of grassy plants that I put around the pond. Well, we'll get to that in a minute, actually. These Lamandra Breeze are doing good. Can't remember what ferns those are. I'll remember, but I just can't remember right now. Over here, this is kind of flopping over and taking over. I can't remember what it's called. It smells really good. I think it's a native. Obsession Andina right here. Not doing good. I think I have it in a bad spot. I can't remember what this is. It's another native. I wanted something taller right here in this whole thing. Evolution, Salvia, the white I had all in here. I cut out at the same time I removed the purple, and that grew back all summer long. It was big and flowered all summer long. So that grew back and was pretty awesome. I'm gonna leave those there and they could do whatever they want. I replaced them with the Lamandra Lime Tight, and like I said, they just started growing back from nothing all in between them. Can't remember what this is. Don't really care to check right now either. I know that plant gets 3 to 5 foot tall, and it might just be the flower stalks get tall above it. But that's doing really good, and I believe that's a Texas native. So look at this Lamandra. Pretty sure this is the same exact one as those, or at least it was labeled as. And this one just started going to crap. You can see some greenery growing at the top, but for those ones to be absolutely perfect, and for this one in the front, which was the biggest and best looking one, to go to crap, I find that very weird. I've debated on replacing this or leaving it, seeing what happens, but I might end up replacing that. We'll have to see. Same conditions, same watering conditions, pretty much same sunlight conditions. Like I said, those ones still look awesome. That one went kaput. Alright, let's continue. I stopped recording for a second. The trash men were coming through. It was kind of loud. So, I believe this is ice plant. This is the purple one. It's grown a lot. Looking real cool. Some parts are looking a little shabby. I don't know. I don't remember much about this plant. If it's gonna die and then come back next spring. I had a white one. It was one of my favorite plants for a minute. I think it was here. That one completely died off midsummer. Apparently wasn't getting enough moisture. This one survived. We got a Blackfoot Daisy right here. This is one of the plants I planted 3 weeks ago. Some creeping Jenny down there still hanging on. Blue Elijah. I want to say fescue. I'm not exactly sure, but this is the Elijah grass. These ones look okay. That really nice one that was here, doing way better than all of them, died off, which is weird. Got another one back in there. I might just pull those. I'll let them sit here over the winter and see what happens come spring. But it said on the tag they were good to zone 8. I'm in zone 9B, so those were an iffy plant from the beginning. I knew that that was iffy. Society garlic, not doing the greatest, but not doing the worst. It's actually kicking up some new foliage since the weather's changed. That one's a transplant from somewhere else, so it's not doing good at all. Donkey tail plant. That's all I remember from this one. Some donkey tail. Did better than I expected. Grew quite a bit. The things are long and kind of taken over. We'll see what happens during the winter and come next spring. That one said to zone 8 too, so that was an iffy plant. Alright, I think this is what, Bulbine? Don't quote me on it. Something like that. That was also a 3 week ago plant. I had a Texas native, I think, even here. Some kind of sage that was looking awesome all summer. No water, no nothing. Got tall, big, and bushy. Perfect looking. Flowered all summer. And then it died off at the end of the summer. I don't know what happened. So I pulled it and put that in its place. Popped one of those in between the rocks down here. I can't remember what this is. I liked it at the store. It's a Texas native. So I grabbed one. I popped it in here. It's not looking the greatest. I probably overwatered it in the beginning. But it will come back, I'm sure. And next year we'll take a look at that. What do we got? Lantana. Texas lantana, I believe. The one that's native to Texas. You have to look up which one's native to Texas and which one's maybe not native. From memory, I think some are, some aren't. I made sure I got the one that was native. What do we got? Foursquare. What is it? 4 Season Daisy. Not looking the hottest. I probably didn't water them enough because I read that they don't need any water. And they're susceptible to root rot or whatever if you give them too much water. So I didn't give them any water. I think the soil I built this up with, it's kind of hard to start soaking water. Either that or it drains too good. And there's not native soil until maybe like 8 to 10 inches down. So they might not have had enough water in this, but we'll see what happens next year. I'm just gonna let them go, see if they make it, or see if they need to be replaced. But that's how that one's looking. It's actually starting to flower again. So we'll see. I was afraid to hit it with water, and that might have ended up killing it. Some other native sage. Can't remember the exact name on that one. What is this? This one still has a tag on it. This is I want to say, start with an A, Abelia. Rose Creek Abelia. Put one there and one there. They didn't do the hottest. This one's just used as a leaning post for the sage. Another sage plant coming out of the blue down there. That's about it for this garden over here. I still got some plans for this. It's not done yet, but that's how that's looking this end of the fall here. Dry Creek bed's doing okay. These ones I planted midsummer, these plants, grass. So I think they end up dying off. This one's fine. I think it's just supposed to be like that at the end of its season, along with this one. But yeah, pretty sure I read that it was supposed to be evergreen. That's why I was like, sweet, let me get this stuff. I think it gets max 3 foot tall, or something like that. If I care to look up the name, I might put it on the screen. We'll see. Not sure if that's in the picture here, but I decided to put in, what is this? Angelina. I thought it looked pretty cool for right in here. Turns out I read that might be an annual. So that's another thing we're going to figure out. I don't know if it's an annual, if it's going to die this winter. I don't know if it's going to come back in the spring as a perennial, or if it's going to be evergreen. I don't know. So we'll see. Got some of our what is this? Just thought of this, and now I forgot the name of it. Sometimes when I'm put on the spot, I can't remember. Coneflowers. You see that? Coneflowers. No flowers right now. So I left those on there. So I think it actually looks cool. I'm guessing these are seeds. Check that out. Let's see what happens. I'll probably collect some of those. But yeah. Alright, so back to my favorite plant here. At least one of them. I don't know with the calamint or this. This one might actually be my favorite. Look, it's just like a carpet, like a mat. This is called Fleabane. F-L-E-A-B-A-N-E. And it's just an awesome little bush. It just kind of goes out like a mat. Another one that I thought was going to be a little round bush, and just kind of starts sprawling out. Okay, so now for some of the ugly. This is Rocket Barberry, and I don't think I did a very good job of picking the plant to put here. I saw it at the nursery. It's already seen a YouTube video of it before, and I wanted it, and I decided to put them here. They were doing great for the first 3 weeks or so, and then I decided to start watering them for some odd reason, and they started kind of going to crap. So I think I overwatered them. I stopped watering them. They started kind of getting a little better, but now towards the end of the season, I think they're just losing their leaves, whatever it's called, herbaceous or whatnot. Probably shouldn't have picked a plant that loses its leaves for against the house here, but live and learn. This is another Abelia. I think it's a peach something. Not too thrilled with this plant either. You can see this one's a little dead in there. I don't know what happened. Sometimes I wonder if I'm overdoing these plants, if I'm underdoing them, what's going on. So we'll see. I might end up having to replace everything over here. I'm going to give those another season. And pond's doing great. Fish are about to go into another winter. There's some of them in there. Okay. You know what? Let's go over here. Check out the garden real quick. I'm connecting the gardens right here, putting in ground covers. I just went with Liriope and some foxtail ferns. I got some lemon something. This is like a big tree bush type thing. It smells like lemon, so it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna let that do its thing. Anyways, put some other bushes and stuff back in here. See when that grows up. These trees or bushes are doing great. That's where I wanted them, at the top of the fence at the end of the season, and wouldn't you know it, there they are at the very top of the fence. What are these again? I can't remember off the top of my head. You should know what those are. The wind's blowing my foxtail ferns over. But yeah, those have grown a lot. You can look at one of my other videos when I put these in. Shortly, they're probably down to here last season when I put them in. Anyways, here's my little pathetic vegetable garden. So everything I had going on with the gardening, motorcycles, the grass this season, I didn't get any vegetables planted. Well, come fall, I decided to go ahead and do some. I don't know if we can see the straws in here. So I did all sorts of seeds, different rows of different seeds, all different leafy type stuff, maybe some other stuff. None of it popped up because they were like maybe 4-year-old seeds. So let that be a lesson. That's the only thing that actually survived. There's a couple other little ones underneath it. I just need to remove those. Don't need them. That's the only one that survived from the seeds that I planted. So I went and bought all this stuff. Got Swiss chard. Can't remember what that is off the top of my head. Mustard greens, cabbage, all that good stuff. Some lettuce. This is romaine. Uh-oh. Got a little wasp on there. This is something else, some leafy salad type stuff. So I just want to get something in. I'm going to try to grow this all season, even throughout our winter. I'll cover it during freezes and snows and stuff like that. So I've done it before where I've had lettuce and leafy greens growing throughout the whole 20-degree temperature winters. That's what that's looking like now. Just do a quick shot of it so we can get an update later. Probably be doing something on that later on in the wintertime. But yeah, just a quick update, like I was saying, on the garden. Just to kind of wanted to really show what didn't make it this season, what failed in the Texas heat, you know, when I wasn't babying it. So maybe you could have it survive, but my style, it couldn't make it. Only the strong survive around here. But that's it, guys. We're gonna do an update probably maybe this winter. Go through, see what's going on. Definitely come spring, so you know, we have something to compare it to. Like I said, this is the first year of this garden, so you know, sometimes it takes a few years before your garden actually starts looking like you want it to. So that's it, guys. All right.